In this unit, we can learn leaf anatomy, root anatomy, and stem anatomy of zymase, transverse section of the leaf, where we can find a typical characteristic of this particular zymase leaf. The outermost layer is known as the epidermis. This is upper epidermis, and the same condition is here at lower epidermis. So lower and upper epidermis is present. This is normally a single layer, and on the upper and lower surface, both the surfaces having these epidermal structures. These both the layers having most of the times upper epidermis having the thick cuticle, thick layer, and this cuticle is to protect plant from the unavoidable entries of the microorganisms or sometimes water molecules. Some cells of the upper epidermis are larger in size. These are called the bulliform cells and or motor cells. Here you can find some of the cells are larger in size. So these cells are called the bulliform cells. So this is the simple structure of the leaf. In transverse section, you can find upper and lower epidermis. In between, these are all the vascular elements. Vascular bundles are there. The upper and lower epidermis may have trichomes and stomatas there, and vascular bundles made up of the xylem and phloem elements. So this is the typical structure of leaf of the maize. When we talk about this is the epidermis, which is the outermost layer. Below the epidermis, there may be the hypodermis, or we can say up to the lower epidermis, it is known as the mesophyll tissue. In between the epidermal layers, it may be upper and lower epidermal layers. The present region of the chlorophyll containing cells are called the mesophyll. All these cells here you can observe, these cells are having the green pigments in that, and these are the chlorophyllous cells. It is not differentiated into palisade and spongy parenchyma. Mesophyll doesn't differentiate it into palisade. Palisade cells are normally the elongated cells, but mesophyll doesn't differentiate it into palisade and spongy parenchyma. These cells are normally spherical or maybe angular, with only few or almost no intercellular spaces. Here you can observe these are mostly compact cells. If the cell is spherical, then and then only you can find a very small intercellular space at that particular location. The cells of this region are arranged very compactly. Then we shift to the vascular bundles present in the leaf region, particularly those are the veins are there. So veins are nothing but the conducting elements. It conduct water and minerals. So vascular bundles are present. These are normally a small or large bundles. As per the size of the veins, the bundle's size may vary. Vascular bundles are mostly collateral bundles, and they are closed, having a bundle sheath. Outer sheath is there, and so that vascular bundles are now closed. Each vascular bundle is surrounded by a layer of thin-walled parenchymatous cells called the bundle sheath. Now, the cells of this bundle sheath contain starch and plastids. These cells may be having the starch and plastids inside. On both the ends of the large vascular bundles, there are the presence of patches of the sclerenchyma, which extend up to the upper and lower epidermal layers. So this is nothing but the connectivity. These two fiber element are present there, and these fibers are nothing but the sclerenchymatous structures. Sclerenchymatous cells are present at both the ends, and they are directly connected to the either on the lower surface, that is lower epidermis, or on the upper epidermis. In the large vascular bundles, xylem and phloem elements are more visible than the small bundles. Here you can find these two are the vessel elements. These are actually the xylem elements. This green structure is known as the phloem, and the lower portion are the fibers, which is mostly the out of the bundle sheath. Xylem is present towards the upper epidermis and phloem is present toward the lower epidermis. Here you can observe that these are the xylem elements which are present at the upper epidermis, and this is the phloem which is present at the lower epidermis. The xylem consists of the vessel elements, and they may be vessels or tracheids having the parenchymatous structures. Metaxylem is represented by two large oval or the spherical vessels, and the protoxylem are by the water cavity called the lysigenous cavity. Now here these are the larger cells are nothing but the metaxylem elements, and those are the smaller cells, they can be called as the protoxylem elements. The phloem consists of the sieve tubes. These are, here you can find the sieve tubes. Sieve tubes and companion cells may be present in the phloem cells. The smaller vascular bundles consist of less developed xylems, and phloem is surrounded by the tissues. So phloem, here you can find that phloem is surrounded by the bundle sheath. So these metaxylem elements, protoxylem elements, these are all covered by the bundle sheath here. So it is all protected by the bundle sheath. So this is about the vascular bundles which are present in the leaf. Anatomy of Zimme's leaf. There are some xerophytic characters are present. What are the xerophytic characters? Wherever there is the scarcity of water, पाण्याची कमतरता ज्या ज्या वेळेस येते, the plant has to develop some typical characters which reduces either the water loss or it may be transpiration rate can be reduced. So for that purpose, some xerophytic characters are developed. Just take the example, this is the presence of thick cuticle. These are the epidermal cells, lower and upper epidermis is there, but mostly the upper epidermis have been covered with a cutin material, and this cutin is called the cuticle. So cuticularization is the prominent character in the xerophytic character. So presence of patches of the sclerenchyma. Now sclerenchyma is the tissue which is having the xylem elements, and these xylem elements are almost a dead tissue. So these sclerenchymatous elements in the form of, they may be of metaxylem, they may be in the form of vessels, they are alternatively present so that they gives strength to that particular leaf. And the presence of motor cells and presence of stomata is also a common character. Here you can find most of the times grasses, just like the Zimmes, having stomata on the both surfaces because of the isobilateral type of the leaf. Here there is the stomata. These stomata helps in the transpiration of internal water or exchange of the gases can be taken place through the stomata. The presence of expanded portion of the blade is the identification character for the grasses. Upper and lower epidermal layers are present. Presence of mesophyll. Here you can find the mesophyll tissue, all the green cells having the chloroplast pigment in that. So presence of mesophyll is also there. The presence of bundle sheath. Every vascular bundle is protected by the bundle sheath cells. Many vascular bundles are arranged parallelly. Here you can observe that these are all vascular bundles are in one line, but here you can say that they arrange the parallelly. Absence of cambium. In monocot we doesn't find the cambium tissue. So absence of cambium is there. The presence of stomata on both the surfaces we just discussed. Here it is shown on the upper epidermis, and in first diagram we find that here stomata on the lower epidermis. So in both cases on the both epidermal cells you can have the stomata present on that. The trichomes may be present on the both the surfaces. Vascular bundles are collateral and they are closed. No differentiation of palisade and spongy parenchyma in mesophyll, that is the isobilateral monocot leaf, and because of that the palisade tissue doesn't recognize all the cells. They may be polygonal cells or the spherical cells. They are having a chlorophyll in that, and these are all called the chlorophyllous cells or the mesophyll cells. Then we shift to the anatomy of the root. This is all about the leaf, where you can find the isobilateral type of the leaf is there. Along with that, both the epidermis are there, lower and upper epidermis. In between that, the mesophyll cells are present. Lower and upper epidermis may have stomata and trichomes present on that surface. And lower and epidermis are always with the few vascular bundles in a row. So this is all about the leaf characteristic. Now we shift to the root of the zymase, primary growth of the root. Now here epiblema or it is a pyliferous layer that is known as the rhizodermis is present here. Now what is this pyliferous layer? Because it is the outermost layer of a young root which has thin walled cells. Some of the cells may give rise to the root hairs. Now root hairs and the outermost layer are nothing but the pyliferous layers. The root hairs are the tubular and in outline and lie in contact with the soil water. Root hairs function क्या है? They have to absorb the water, and because of that they are in contact with the soil water. Both the epiblema and the root hairs are devoid of the cuticle. Cuticle is typically found in the leaf. Here in root epidermis there is the absence of cuticle. They may take part in the absorption of water and the minerals and salts. So here you can observe the general diagram, ground plan of that particular root, where the outermost layer is known as the pyliferous layer, where there is the presence of root hairs is there. Then the central blue zone is known as the cortex zone, normally made up of the parenchymatous cells. Then a single layered endodermis and followed by the pericycle is there. These are all the vascular bundles alternating with the phloem patches. Parenchymatous cells are there, and the central pith, which is mostly parenchymatous. So this is the basic structure, anatomical structure of the root of zyme. After epidermis, there is these are the root hairs. Epidermis, there is no presence of cuticle. This is 3 to 4 layered structure is known as the hypodermis. Now these hypodermis are most of the times collenchymatous cells, and we can find this particular zone is known as the cortex zone. Actually, cortex zone is very wide region, and the parenchymatous cells may be loosely arranged and having the intercellular spaces over there. These cells may store the food. This cortical zone is made for the storage of food. In older roots, in the outer one, we can say that, example, smilax, or as in maize, layer of the cortex becomes thick walled and it is the suberized. These constitute the exodermis. Now this is outermost layer is the epidermis, and this hypodermal layer, now we can call it as a exodermis. It is the protective layer of some extent and absorptive in the function. It can absorb the moisture. So this is the exodermis followed by the epidermis. The cortex of the monocot root has therefore has basic 3 functions. See here, the conduction of water and minerals, that is the natural phenomena for which purpose the root has been developed. Then storage of food, root can storage food material in this cortex region. And third one is the protective exodermis in the older roots. So exodermis is typically found in the older roots, where you can find the protective function, because the roots are the underground tissues, and where we can find many type of the soil particles, stones may be there. So there is a need of protection to the root parts. So exodermis helps in the protection. See here, when we describe the diagram, you can observe here, this zone is known as the cortical zone, epidermis, then it is hypodermal or exodermal cells. This zone is known as the cortex. After cortex, there is the endodermis, which is now we call them as a endodermis. Here you can find passage cells or Casparian strips can be organized on this endodermis. Then pericycle, endodermis is immediately followed by a barrel-shaped, slightly elongated, normally blue stained cells. They are pericycle. In the pericycle, this central zone is there. We can say it as a stellar zone, and in this stellar zone, we find these are the phloem elements alternating with the xylem elements. This is the central portion which is known as the pith. Now here the larger elements are at the center and the smaller elements, metaxylem, the xylem elements are at the periphery. So older elements are known as the metaxylem and the smaller units, smaller xylem elements are known as the protoxylem elements, and phloems are alternatively arranged in this. Thus the root has a typical structure, and endodermis and the stellar region is the basic water conductive zone of the root. Now we shift to, after this cortex, shift to the endodermis and its functions. Endodermis is the inner boundary of the cortex and it is a single layer. We just have discussed this is the outermost layer which is known as the endodermis. It is made up of the barrel-shaped cells and which do not enclose intercellular spaces. Means these are the compact cells actually. Compact barrel-shaped compact cells, and these doesn't having the intercellular spaces. The young endodermal cells possess an internal strip of suberin and lignin, which is known as the Casparian strip. Now, these lignin filled structures are known as the Casparian strips. Okay? The passage of the cells are meant for the conduction of the fluid. आता हा जो सगळा टिश्यू जो आहे हा पॅसेज इथं जो तयार झालेला कॅस्पियन स्ट्रिपच्या मध्ये. सो दीज आर फॉर द conduction of fluids inwardly from the cortex and outwardly from the interior into the cortex. तर बोथ कंडिशन मध्ये ह्या ज्या गॅप ज्या आहेत कॅस्पेरियन स्ट्रिप ज्या आहेत तर त्यांची हेल्प आपल्याला कशी काय होते, एक्सटर्नल फ्लुइड फ्रॉम कॉर्टेक्स टू दी इनवर्ड अँड फ्रॉम द इनर स्टेज टू दी आउटर टू दी कॉर्टेक्स. तर ह्याच्यामध्ये एक्सचेंज ऑफ फ्लुइड जे आहे तर हे कॅस्पेरियन स्ट्रिपच्या माध्यमातून इथं होत असते. Then the endodermis regulates the flow of the fluid both inwardly and the outwardly by functioning the biological check. हे जे एंडोडर्मिस आहे, एंडोडर्मिसचं काम काय एकंदरीत, इट इज टू मेंटेन द फ्लुइड फ्लो. So fluid flow is maintained by the endodermis here. It is the endodermal layer, this is pericycle, and this is the central pith. The endodermis, the immediate layer is known as the pericycle. This is the pink layer, pink cell layer. These are again a barrel-shaped cells. Pericycle or outer boundary of the vascular strand lies below the endodermis. Endodermis ला लागून असलेला आतला लेयर जो आहे त्याला आपण पेरिसायकल म्हणतो. मे बी युनिसेड, normally single layer, but multiseriate. In many cases you can find, particularly Smilax, you can find the multiseriate type of the pericycle. Here in maize, it is a single layered pericycle. In most of the monocots, the pericycle does not form a cambium tissue. कारण मोनोकॉट मध्ये सेकंडरी ग्रोथ नाही आणि सेकंडरी ग्रोथ नसल्यामुळे नॅचरली कॅम्बियमचं फंक्शन काय असतं, कॅम्बियम प्रोड्युसेस towards the center, that is the xylem elements, and from the outer peripheral region of the stem or root, we can find there is the phloem tissue. Thus, formation of the vascular bundle is done with the cambium tissue. Cambium tissue can produce both type of the cells, xylem cells and phloem cells. So here there is no secondary growth, and because of that, we doesn't find the cambium tissue here. Now we can talk about the vascular primary growth of the root, vascular strand or the cylinder. Now this is the complete vascular strand, we can say. It is in the form of several 8 or more alternate radial xylem and phloem bundles. In monocot we find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 or more xylem and phloem. It is alternating with these phloem patches. Here you can observe that. So xylem and phloem bundles are present here. The number of 20 to 30 in maize and 100 or more in each type of the pandanus, केवडा ज्याला म्हणतो आपण, pandanus and palms, we can observe these type of the strands, xylem elements. The vascular bundles are arranged in the form of a ring around the central pith. Here you can observe that this is the central pith made up of the parenchymatous cells. And these xylem bundles are normally exarch in condition. बरोबर आहे? म्हणजे exarch condition काय आहे? Where the protoxylem elements are towards the periphery. So such type of the vascular bundles are developed here. The protoxylem lies towards the outside while the metaxylem faces towards inside. These larger cells are known as the metaxylem elements, and these are the smaller cells known as the protoxylem elements. Gradually, these protoxylem elements develops and thus converted into a metaxylem elements. So this is about the anatomical feature of this protoxylem and metaxylem elements. The xylem is made up of the rounded or the oval cells, and particularly xylem parenchyma. Now, as we know that xylem is nothing but the dead tissue, and that's why it is shown here in the red, because normally at the practical level, safranin is taken by the xylem elements, particularly the dead cells in the plant, and the light green color of the stain is taken by the living tissue, particularly the phloem elements. These vessel elements or the metaxylems are larger than those of the protoxylems. आता इथं थोडंसं आपण त्याला झूम केलेलं आहे. तेच व्हेस्क्युलर बंडल आहे. दीज आर द व्हेस्क्युलर फ्लोएम पॅचेस अँड दीज आर द वेसल एलिमेंट, ज्याला आपण मेटाझायलेम म्हणू, अँड दीज आर द प्रोटोझायलेम एलिमेंट्स. In between those, we can find there is the phloem patches. These protoxylems vessels are narrow and they have the spiral, annular or the reticular thickenings. Metaxylem vessels are broad. So here you can observe that metaxylem vessels are broader as compared to the protoxylem elements. This xylem provides a mechanical strength which supports the complete plant system. आता काय असतं मेकॅनिकल स्ट्रेंथ मध्ये काय, नॉर्मली प्लांट्स आर ग्रोईंग स्ट्रेट, इट इज निगेटिव्हली जिओट्रॉपिक. तर अशा कंडिशन मध्ये जेव्हा झाडाला उभं राहायचं असेल, सो देअर मस्ट बी सम स्केलेटन लाईक स्ट्रक्चर. सो दीज आर झॅलेम एलिमेंट्स विच आर नथिंग बट द स्केलेटन ऑफ द प्लांट. फ्लोएम बंडल्स आर अल्टरनेटिंग. आता ह्या झॅलेम एलिमेंटलाच फ्लोएम बंडल्स हे अल्टरनेट आहेत. They are alternating with the xylem bundles and they do not take any part in the formation of cambium, or we can say the any formation of other cells. Phloem may be containing having the sieve tubes or the companion cells can be observed in the phloem tissue, in the phloem bundles. It helps, particularly this phloem helps in the conduction of the organic food material and distinction between the protophlloem as well as the metaphlloem elements, and they may not be present. Normally these are phloem are nothing but the actively dividing cells, we can say, and they are always in the state of stretching. So distinction between protoxylem and metaxylem element may not be observed here. This pith has root which is occupied at the center. It consists of the parenchymatous cells. These parenchymatous cells normally thin walled, but it may be thick walled as in here shown in the xylem element. These are slightly thick walled. Intercellulose spaces are present because pith is the central portion, and intercellulose spaces may be present when the parenchymatous cells are spherical in nature. These spaces present amongst the pith cells, and this pith is also help in the storing the food material. For that purpose, we have to take the section of the stem, and when we take the section of the stem, you can observe these layers there. Normally epidermis, then ground tissue, or we can say the hypodermis, then cortex zone, then endodermis, all these structures as in root, it can repeat here. But the vascular bundle, here they are the random in nature, and because of that, there may not be the endodermis is present. Okay? So epidermis. Epidermis is as usual the outermost layer of this stem, and usually a single layer structure and mostly covered with the thick cuticle. So it is the cuticularized outer wall of the stem. Then we shift to the ground tissue. All this remaining tissue, we can call it as a ground tissue, or this particularly protective zone, maybe hypodermis we call it as a, and it is next to the epidermis. Ground tissue started with the next to the epidermis, the another 3 to 4 layered cell of the sclerenchymatous or the cholenchymatous cells, and they forms the hypodermis layer. Here you can observe that. Then hypodermis is continued with the ground tissue, and it is the parenchymatous. So differentiation into cortex and starch sheath, they are simply called the ground tissue. त्याच्यामध्ये वेगवेगळ्या सेलचं स्ट्रक्चर नाही. Actually from this cell to center, we can find the same type of the cells are there, parenchymatous cells are there, and because of that, it is just called the ground tissue.